The UN says the Islamic State and the government of Syria are committing war crimes. The UN's latest report cited extensive violence by each side. CCTV's Liling joins us live from the UN with the details. And Liling, the report paints quite a gruesome picture. What does it tell us about the crisis and the need for the international community to act?
Yes, indeed, Elaine. This report paints a very brutal and bloody picture of the Syrian conflict and accuses both the government of Bashar al-Assad as well as Islamic State militants of extreme acts of violence, in effect, war crimes. Now, the report says that government forces have, from January to July, killed hundreds of men, women, and children, and in many cases by firing missiles and barrel bombs at civilian populations, and in some instances deliberately attacking these sites, and this constitutes massacres. Now, 8 incidents in April may have also involved the use of chemical agents, very likely chlorine. UN investigators also stated that government forces were responsible for the systemic torture, sexual abuse, and deaths of prison detainees based on analyses of some 25,000 photographs. And in areas under Islamic State control, a campaign of terror and fear persists with Fridays. For example, Friday sees regular public executions, amputations, and lashings. Bodies have been put on display to terrorize the local population. Women are being lashed for not abiding by Islamic State dress codes. And children, boys as young as 10 years old, are being recruited and trained at Islamic State camps. The report also states that IS has been systematically, or rather forcibly, displacing Kurdish communities in northern Syria, and as we are well aware of now, systematically targeting journalists and media workers.
In Syria, it's a total impunity because crimes are committed each day from all parties, and nobody is dealing with the criminal responsibility for that crimes. I think that if the Security Council finally will decide a step ahead to provide justice for the victim, I think it would be a first step to obtain peace in this country.
Now,
and Liling, we understand that government forces at checkpoints are hindering injured civilians from reaching the hospitals, and that humanitarian aid deliveries continue to be hampered. What is the UN doing to address those issues?
Yes, the report says that government soldiers are preventing injured civilians from reaching hospitals, but also many of these hospitals are being targeted themselves. Now, as for aid deliveries, the report also notes that supplies such as medical and surgical equipment are being held back, and that the blocking of these humanitarian deliveries is being used as a strategy of war. Now, the Security Council will be briefed on the humanitarian situation on Thursday morning here in New York, where we will hear about progress or lack thereof in terms of delivering aid across borders and conflict lines. The Council so far has adopted 2 resolutions on, rather demanding humanitarian access, and we are hearing of some progress being made in terms of delivering aid to opposition-held areas such as Aleppo and rural Damascus, but these deliveries remain a major problem in areas controlled by the government and by Islamic State militants. Elaine.
All right, CCTV's Liling at the UN.